Hi, in this episode I'm going to tell you everything you need to know on carrying in your Save the Dive box. In getting this right, not only will you be able to do more dives, you'll save money and you'll look cool. Hi, I'm Andy Northern Diver and welcome to another video in this series of scuba diving tutorials. I'm going to be talking to you about the Save the Dive box, a concept I came across about 18 months ago and hopefully will help you save the dive. If this is your first time here, then make sure you click the subscribe button so you can keep abreast of all things scuba and watch all the other episodes that we've posted before. Make sure you hit the bell button here, that way you get a notification every time we post a new video. But if you haven't got a YouTube account, I'll put a link just above here. That'll be to a video that'll help you go and set one up if you don't know how to do it. And make sure you watch the end where I'll be giving you my top tips. So basically what I've bought from like your local supermarket is just a Tupperware tub, and I filled it with loads of spurs and bits that we use to repair our kit whilst I'm at home, under the assumption that when I'm going to be at a dive site, the dive centre might not be open or the dive shop might not have the right technician in there to fix a piece of kit that I need him to fix, or he might have the parts in his shop to fix it. If you get to the shop and you don't have the right battery for your computer or for your torch, you can't use your computer, you can't use your torch, then you might not be able to dive. So the whole concept is, let's save that dive. So if you label the box Save the Dive box, then when it's your friend that needs something, you can send him up to your car or your van and he'll go and find the Save the Dive box and he'll pull it out and he'll know where the Save the Dive box is and he'll be able to go in it. So what I'll do is I'll go through it bit by bit, what I've got in my box. Maybe you can leave some comments below. What have you got in your box that I've not got in mine that I can think, I'll get that for next time I go, just in case I have that same problem you've had. So leave that in the comments box. I'll give you a thumbs up when I see it. So first up, I've got the BSAC 88 tables and nitrox slates, because you never know, if you've got a computer fail, you might have to just plan the dive on a slate and dive on slates like we were first taught. Second then, I've got a diver recall slate with a blank back on, so should I need to send anything down, if we're on a boat for instance and there's a guy we need to get him to come out, could always pull that out, clip it onto the line, drop it down, and the divers will know to come up. But I could always write a message on the back why, you know, we might have a casualty or the weather's coming in or something like that, so it's worth having one of them in. Then I've got a glow stick, commonly known as a Siloom. You snap this lasts for 12 hours, so if you were stuck at sea and you need to read the paper, you could snap this and you can read the paper using the green light that comes off this. Then I've got a specific battery change kit for my wife's dive computer. Day it needs changing, we'll just change it. I've also got a set of O-rings that are specific to my torch. If you can see in there, we've got a swivel. So if you have a leak from your SPG about here, when you get in the water, what you can do is replace the swivel and it'll be working again. If you don't know how to do that, I'll post a link to the video here. Not so much on the lines of Save the Dive, but save a life. I've got one of these fold out tinfoil blankets, you know, that you put over people when they finish running a London Marathon and that, to keep them warm. So if you do have a casualty with you and you're waiting for an ambulance or something and you can't really get them out of the weather or keep them that warm, you can always wrap them up in one of them blankets, that'll help them. Equally, if you've got a dive manager that's on the side and they forgot to bring like waterproof jacket or whatever, I've got a little rain poncho. So you can throw that on, it'll just keep them out the weather a little bit. So I'm famous for being cold all the time, can't keep warm, always got the heater on or always got the heating on and have to stay somewhere warm. So I've got some heat pads for both my feet and my hands. Okay, they're a brilliant idea. Cost a couple of quid and you buy a big box of them for about a tenner, and if I keep them in here and I'm getting cold feet, just bang a couple of them in my socks, sorted. Okay, next on my list then is a set of Allen keys or hex keys. Okay, they're ideal. There's loads of different parts of your scuba kit that needs adjustment every now and again, so keeping one of them with us, absolutely perfect. Next on the tool list, a little adjustable spanner. Okay, it's only about 6 inches long, but pretty much it can be used for most jobs that we need to touch our scuba kit with. I've then got a little lighter. Hopefully it's working. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, keep that in there with the lid on, just in case you have to burn the ends of any bits of string or cord or whatever. Being ginger, I need sun cream, so I've got some nice factor 15. Okay, as long as I apply that quite regularly, whatever, to my face, I'm not going to get burned while I'm in my full dry suit, but keep some of that in there because you never know. If you're on the side or on the boat for quite a while, it's worth having a bit of that with you. I've then just got some cheap batteries for one of my torches that I don't have any rechargeable batteries for. A charger and lead for one of those other torches that we've got. As you'll see in our expedition videos, link up here, I like to video every time we go diving. So just in case I run out, I've got myself a little memory card in case I fill the others up and I don't want to delete anything, so I can put this in and carry on taking video. Got a set of zip ties then, the only small ones, big enough to go around the mouthpiece, but that's generally big enough for what we need. Upon occasion we might blow an O-ring from one of our hoses or whatever it might be. So I've got an O-ring pick. They do come in brass, these are steel, they're quite a cheap one these, but it'll do should I need to just dig an O-ring out. If you can dig an O-ring out, then you need to replace it. So I've got a little tub just bought from the shop, and this was £3.50 of a good mix of O-rings should you need to swap any of them out. In case you've got a problem then on the surface, or you need to get someone's attention, it might be worth having a whistle. So I've got a whistle. My wife, she's famous for chewing through her mouthpieces. So in case she chews through it and she needs a new one, I've got a spare one. Whilst doing a lot of videoing, obviously I use a GoPro like everybody does. Just in case for whatever reason the mechanism that holds the GoPro to whatever fails, I've got a spare GoPro screwy bit. So I've got one of the caps for both my cylinder and the end of my regulators, just in case we lose them. Stops any crap getting in the threads and ruining any stuff. So if you do lose them, it's worth putting these on to protect them for the next dive. The zip on my dry suit always gets worn and needs to be lubricated, so I've got a bit of the old beeswax here. Not a fan of these, but some people use them, and if you've no other option to use them, I've got one of these so you can use it. Don't carry a snorkel generally unless I'm just snorkeling, but for whatever reason, if the snorkel that we're using, the clip is broke, or I've got a paddy diver with me that uses a snorkel but doesn't use it, and they break the clip, I've got a spare clip for them. Because I drink a lot of cups of tea, I need to go to the toilet quite a lot, and luckily enough I could afford a P-valve when I bought my new dry suit. But with a P-valve you need catheter condoms, so I've got a catheter condom. Getting back to the urgency of an emergency, if we have to get someone out of the dry suit and no one's brought any net shears, I've got some net shears. Might get a headache or bellyache, so a couple of paracetamol there. Now I've been on a dive site once before. We were going out on the boat and my mate Andre, that was his name. If you're watching this, Andre, hi mate. He was on the way out, so as we were transiting out on the boat, he's got his mask and tried to rinse it off in the water. Unfortunately the boat was moving at quite a fair pace, so he dropped his mask so he wouldn't be able to dive. But he would, because I've got a spare mask. It might not look as cool, but it's not all about looking cool, it's about being able to dive. So some people, they use different types of first stage regulators. All ours are on a DIN fitting now, but some people still use the old sort of A-clamp, and if you're not sure what that is, here's a link to a video on it. But you do need an A-clamp DIN adapter, so I've got one with two brand new O-rings in. It's good to go, just in case they lose an O-ring or forget it. A couple of these, I think they call them trilobites, but either way they're like some kind of weird buckled metal thing. But I had them knocking around. It's not going to hurt me to have them in here, you know, they weigh a couple of grams, so throw them in and you never know, they might come in. And just in case we do need knives, I've brought two different knives. One that fastens to the bottom of my torch, probably pretty lethal, and then one that's more of like a line cutter, but it's got a serrated edge, and that's got a buckle on the back so it can clip on anywhere really. Better than having no knife, I suppose. Possible and likely, because this happened to me in the Red Sea last year. My spool fell overboard after I got back in the boat, didn't realise it got caught up in a propeller, chopped up, and for the rest of the dive holiday I wouldn't have had a spool if I wasn't given this by the dive guide from Blue O2. Now it's not uncommon to find that you've got a little leak in your dry suit. You could puncture it on something, or you know, you've no idea where it's come from. So there's two things I'll carry. One is some black witch, and the other is a little piece of neoprene, so it's rough on the outside, smooth on the inside. And then this, added to that, you can stick them together, put them on top of your dry suit, leave it for an hour or two, dry, and then you've got that seal made. Got some silicone grease. This is from Olympus, came with my camera. Ideal, you know, it's sealed, it's only tiny, it'll do just a little bit around there if it's dry or whatever, and then you can just carry on when you dive. Got another couple of batteries, just pencil ones. I don't really need these in my kit, but you never know, someone might do, so they're in here. And last but not least is a pocket mask. Fortunately I've never had to use this on anyone, don't really want to have to, but if I have to, I've got one. So in the box I've got some little gloves. I've also got like an alcohol wipe, and then there's the pocket mask and strap. Sort of pop that out, as you can see it's now come out. Pop it on to the casualty and you can breathe through there. It's a one-way valve, so you can breathe into their mouth. You can apply the oxygen should you need to if you've got that cylinder with you, but it means you don't come into contact with them or them you, so you don't really catching anything or passing anything on. So that's my Save the Dive box. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything different that you'd perhaps carry in there, or things that you haven't thought of and now, oh, Andy carries that, I never thought of that, I'll carry one of them. and I'll be sure to get back to you and give you a thumbs up if you do comment. And make sure you watch the rest of the series to catch up on all things scuba. The link is posted above here. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. See you on Insta.